Hello? Hi, my name's Rich, and today we're going to be talking about what I've been doing over the past couple of weeks. Well, I've been away from the channel. I've not been putting out a lot of content because I've been working on this fantastic project. It's going to be called Rich's Compendium of Character Creation. In this, I want to make a book with 12 different subclasses, one for each class, in Dungeons & Dragons. I thought it would be a cool project to do, and it's a lot more work than I first anticipated. I thought it would have been as easy as just writing some things down, and then it actually involves a lot of design, a lot of playtesting, and graphic design as well. I'm working with Affinity Publisher and I'm trying to make it look like a proper book instead of just someone's scribbled PDF file or a text document, you know? I want to actually make it look like a real physical book. Initially, we're only going to be publishing it as a PDF, but yeah, it's going to be a collaboration between me and a couple of other people on the Discord, and you can find a link down below. If you want more information, check the Discord out. It's full of great people and we're here to help. And if you've got any subclasses you're designing or any homebrews and you want to share them with the world, then drop us a link. So to help show you what we're doing, what all of these subclasses are about, I thought I'd go through them quickly one by one and just give you a brief overview of what we're planning to do. So far we already have a couple of those already up on the Patreon. We have the Monolith Warlock, which I don't think we're going to put into this book. We might put it into the next one. So starting out, we've got the Mentor Fighter. I know I've talked about it before and I still think it's a great subclass. It's the fighter subclass that lets you help the rest of your team. It's more of a supportive role than a frontline combat role, but you can still take some punches. Next up is the Herbalist Ranger. Now, I love the Alchemist Artificer, and I think that they didn't do a good job with it, I'll be honest with you. There's some little finicky rules, but also I've been doing some research in Pathfinder and how they've done the Alchemist, and there's some great inspiration there, but I've tried to make my own version of it, strangely enough, with the Ranger subclass. With the Herbalist Ranger, you can use your ability to forage off the land and gather ingredients. Depending on the chosen speciality for your type, you can find different abilities, different ways to make potions that can both help your party, heal them up, buff them up, or you can do like a concoction, which is like a Molotov cocktail, for example, or some sort of explosive device. But there's lots of different variations, and as you level up, you get access to more different ways to do it. And I'll be honest with you, there's partial inspiration from Skyrim's potion system as well, because at later levels you can mix 3 different ingredients together and have like these really complicated, customizable concoctions. The next one I want to cover is the Draconic Patron Warlock. And I thought it was a missed opportunity in Fizzbands. I thought they would have put a Warlock there. I know that a lot of people say that the Genie already has this covered with lots of customization, but I do think there is a demand for a Warlock that uses a Draconic theme. It's been difficult to try and differentiate it from the Draconic Sorcerer bloodline, but I do think we did a good job with this. It's just enough of a difference, and with the Warlock spell list as well, you can go for a wildly different build. Next up for the Sorcerer, we have the Fey-touched Pixie Sorcerer. With the Pixie Sorcerer, I wanted to try and encourage a mischievous side of the Pixies. You would have been blessed by Pixies when you're young, or something to that extent, so you slowly gain the powers as you level up as well. So this includes flying, being able to polymorph creatures, and cast invisibility, and yeah, I think it's a great flavour as well. The subclass itself really informs the player's style, and it's not just a set of mechanical rules to follow, it really adds flavour and depth. Currently, I'm working on the Saboteur Rogue, which sounds rather suave and sophisticated, but in reality, you're going to be a mad bomber. You're going to be able to make explosive devices every long rest, and these do area of effect damage, and here's the kicker, it uses your sneak attack. So depending on how strong you are, this scales up over the levels. But it's not just that, there is going to be a variety of different options, including flashbangs, smoke grenades, poison gas, or even things that'll stun you at really high levels. And for this subclass I wanted to go for the more crazy, anarchic sort of character. Just because you're a rogue doesn't mean you need to be sneaky. And with this you can still use your sneak attack ability without relying on sneaking around. Next, for the Cleric, we have the Sacrifice Domain Cleric. The Sacrificial Domain is going to be one that really lets you support your team, help them out, and it's going to be a great tanky class. Getting people's attention and putting yourself on the front line is the primary source of inspiration for this subclass. I think a lot of clerics are way overpowered in the base game, so this one is on par. It's not over the top, but I do think it adds a great appeal of self-sacrifice, and I think as a cleric as well, there's a lot of focus on helping out yourself, but not helping out other people as much. Yes, you do get Bless and Bane, for example, but this one really does have its own unique flavour. Now, these are the classes we have designed so far, but I'm hoping to try and get more designed and have the whole thing ready to go for December 10th, ready for Christmas. So I wanted to go through some of the ones we're going to be making in the future, and I'd love to get your feedback. If you think they're interesting or boring, or if you think there's anything similar, then tell me down in the comments. Now, eagle-eyed viewers may have seen a couple of these before, but I've been trying to do a Circle of the Flourishing Trees Druid. And with this Druid, I wanted to try and do sort of like, this sounds strange, but like a Power Ranger style, where you start out with a sapling, like a little pet, which can morph into like a tree armor, a big suit of bark armor, enchanted wood. And this gains more abilities as you level up. And then eventually you can transform this little creature into what is essentially a mech. And you'll be able to pilot this thing, stomp around, and cause maximum havoc and damage. But also it allows you to be good at transporting as well. If you're having a campaign that requires a lot of long distances, then go for it. This would be fantastic. The next one I want to cover is the Wizard. Now, my idea for the Wizard is a wizard of light and darkness, and it's not just shadows and sneaking around, but this one would be focused more on the technical side of things, the science behind the magic. This includes laser beams. Gotta love a laser beam wizard. Now for the final four, the Paladin, I want to do Oath of the Industry Paladin, which sounds strange, but hear me out. I wanted to try and make a Paladin that was dedicated to industrialization and the forward march of technology. I think it would be great in a steampunk setting, and it has its own oaths and tenets that help progress the society growing and evolving, and it's very much the antithesis of a natural, neutral sort of Paladin. It's going totally for expansion. Now, this can be played as a positive thing or a negative thing, so remember the Paladin is not just always lawful good. You can have layers and nuances depending on your tenets and oaths. I wanted to try the Ironworks Colossus Barbarian. As a Barbarian, I wanted something that has melee, does great melee damage that scales up as you level up. And I want you to have big metal arms so you can swing around, punch people and block damage and all this sort of cool stuff. And I'm not sure if we're going to keep it, but there is an idea of adding some suplexes and wrestling moves as well. And if that works out, it's going to be an awesome class. I know Barbarians love to roll a lot of dice and they don't worry too much about the nuances, so we'll keep that in mind. The last two are going to be the Bard and the Monk, and these are going to be left as a little bit of a surprise. We'll probably cover these in an update to this video in the future, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get Matt or Day20, or he has 100 different names, but he's Matt to me. I'll send you a link down in the description to his Twitter. You should totally check it out. He has some really cool stuff designed already, and he's helping me out with a project. If you're interested in keeping up to date with this project, then check out my Patreon. We have two main tiers. The first one at level 10, you gain access to all the subclasses that are getting designed and anything you want in the future as well. And with the second option, you can pay €2 a month and you get a free subclass every month. And this is always going to be on rotation, so there'll always be something different there available. Depends what month it is at the time. And if you can't afford the Patreon, leave a comment down below, leave a like, watch the video. It always helps the algorithm, it helps help the channel. And yeah, if you want more up-to-date information, then I'm on Twitter. It's RichMerry0 because Rich Merry is already taken. I don't know why, but anyway. And I tweet about 4 or 5 times a day, which is a little bit excessive, I know, but I just enjoy the platform. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye.